In order for a change to occur, there first has to be a discussion. However, without providing proper and sufficient education, this discussion is nearly impossible to have. To help evaluate the level of education we are given growing up on Indigenous studies, I have my roommate here, and we're going to ask him a couple questions. So first off, when was the last time you had an Indigenous course, and what did you learn in it?
Like grade 7.
Do you remember anything from that course?
Like a little bit, like
Okay.
about like some of the tribes, what they did.
Okay. Well, we'll ask a couple more questions and see how much you actually remember. So, first question: what is the doctrine of discovery?
No idea.
So, the doctrine of discovery basically states any land that is not inhabited by a Christian is not inhabited land, and European explorers used this to come over to the Americas and conquer land that was being inhabited by indigenous tribes because they weren't Catholic, so they considered it not inhabited land. Do you know what terra nullius is?
No.
So terra nullius is Latin for nobody's land, and it was used in conjunction with the doctrine of discovery to, like I said before, take the land away from them. As I said, since they weren't Catholic, it was considered free land, so they could claim it. And do you know what residential schools are?
A little bit.
Do you know?
I believe it was like the Catholics tried to like impose their will and like change their culture.
Yeah, so basically there were Catholic residential schools in Canada, and they basically took Indigenous children and they stripped them of their culture and enforced the Catholic views and culture onto them. And it basically left these children stripped of their culture, and they had a hard time self-identifying. And then once these schools were shut down, it led to long chains of poverty for these children and horrible stress disorders and a bunch of other issues. But yeah, thanks for answering a couple questions.
No problem.
So as you can see, clearly there wasn't a lot of education being given. So in order to have these discussions, we need to be able to talk about these basic concepts which need to be addressed in elementary school as we're growing up, or else it's going to be impossible for anything to change.